IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Central Europe. I hope everybody has had a great start to their week and is looking forward to a fantastic week ahead. Hi, Kishanjit. Shub Sharat, I see your message. Send me an email, please, so I can help you out. Hi, Juan Pablo. Good to see many of our students in the class. Welcome, members. Hi, Sammy. In this class, everyone, we are going to focus on IELTS speaking part 1, discussing on how to get a band 9, and we're going to do some practice. And I just released a really cool video for everybody to practice your speaking interview for your next IELTS exam. It gives you a first-person perspective of the speaking interview, and you get to practice. So check that out after this live class. All right, students, as usual, this class is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS success, please visit us there. And for the general IELTS, please check us out at IELTShelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we have tons and tons of materials to help you improve your English, your grammar, your vocabulary, and your communication skills so you can get those high band scores. Again, if you have questions, if you have any difficulty with our products with the IELTS exam, we are here to help you. Just send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. Hi, Byron. Hi, Nikhil. Nice to see more of our members jumping in on the class. Students, a very important announcement before we get into our speaking session. We have class today. We'll have a couple of classes tomorrow. That was my mouse. We'll have a couple more classes on Friday as well. And then from Friday all the way from the 21st until the 30th, there will be no classes. I'm going to be off on holidays for a little bit. So we will be releasing some brand new HD videos though. So we will have lots more for you to practice during that time from videos, just no live classes. And then the next live class will actually be on December 1st with another speaking part 1, okay? So 3 days this week, including today, then about 9 days of holiday, and then back to more live classes after, but of course lots of HD videos, okay? All right, so keep that schedule in mind. That schedule is also on the channel community board, so you can check that out, okay? All right, everyone. So IELTS speaking, we'll get right into part 1 here. Just quickly to show you our websites, this is aehelp.com with the blue background. You can click that big red button to join, and you can do speaking practice on the website with other students. There's video chat, audio chat. You can do that on our general IELTS website as well. Here, there's practice exams, interactive courses. Again, this is gieltshelp.com. Click that big red button to join there, okay? All right, so here we go with the questions for today. So keep in mind, everyone, that the IELTS speaking interview, it's with another real person, so it's not like TOEFL. TOEFL is with a computer. The computer asks you the questions. In the IELTS, you actually have a real person interviewing you, and you are going to be in the same room as the examiner. Although with COVID, IELTS is testing a new system where the interview is done through a computer. But even then, you have to go to the test center. It's real time, so make sure that you're prepared for that. And it takes about 12 to 15 minutes from start to finish. It's a very important 12 to 15 minutes. If you think about it, the speaking section is only a quarter of the time of the other 3 sections. Speaking takes 15 minutes, reading, writing, and listening take roughly about an hour each, a little bit less maybe. But again, speaking is a much shorter time, but it's worth a quarter of your overall band score. So you really have to do well, okay? All right. Now, that means you have to be confident, okay? So how can you be confident in your IELTS speaking? Before we get into these questions here, let's help each other out. Give me some tips. Give each other some ideas of how can you be confident during the speaking exam. So what gives you confidence? Confidence is very important for high band scores. Okay, so give me some ideas here. What can we do? All right, so Javier Del Rio says, rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Yeah, practice, absolutely. I mean, practice makes perfect, so practicing, lots of practice, sure. Okay, what else? So practice. Shaheen says voice. Yeah, so practice speaking with a confident voice. There's a belief, and it's true, that if you pretend to smile, even if you're sad, if you smile, like you're like, eventually hold the smile for like a minute, and you might just become happy and actually start to smile. So you can trick your body into various emotions like sadness, happiness. That's what actors do. Actors are professionals at tricking their body into emotional states. So speak, and of course you want to practice this with a loud, confident voice, even if you're not, okay? So with a loud, confident voice, even if you are not, as this can itself create confidence. Yeah, that was a good tip. Okay. Chandra Deepa says breathe. Yeah, control your breathing. Practicing breathing control is good. Yeah, so breathe. Practice controlling your breathing before the exam. And these days, because of COVID, you want to do it with a mask on. Okay? So if you are in the same room as the examiner, you will have to wear a mask, okay? In many places around the world right now, masks are mandatory for the next few months. So if you have a speaking exam, practice your confident, loud voice with a mask on, okay? By the way, Sammy says don't go off topic. Here's another little tip. Now, I don't know how not going off topic builds confidence, so I'm going to kind of erase that. But here's another important tip, okay? Put your mask on at least a half hour to an hour before your interview, even if you don't have to. Does everybody get what I'm saying with this? Put your mask on at least half an hour to an hour before your interview, even if you don't have to, okay? That's a really, really important tip. Of course, here where I'm at, we have to wear masks when we go outside. And I noticed that for the first 15, 20 minutes, when I'm wearing a mask, it's quite uncomfortable. My breathing is troubled. But after about 20 or 30 minutes of the mask on my face, my body gets used to the mask and breathing in the mask and wearing the mask. And then I feel more comfortable. I don't notice the mask as much. So I think it's a really smart idea to put your mask on 20, 30 minutes early before your interview so your body and your lungs and your breathing can get used to the mask. Does everybody following me on that? That's a really important idea that I picked up on over the last week, that it's a very, very smart move, and that could easily save you a band score. Okay, I see Z giving some thumbs up. Okay, so don't put your mask on like 2 minutes before you walk in. That's not a good idea. All right? Okay, All right, fantastic. So I see that people are paying attention. Everybody's like, all right, yeah, put the mask on early. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, so Munisha, if you have to do your live speaking exam tomorrow with a mask on, then Munisha, put your mask on like 30, 40 minutes before your exam so you can get really comfortable wearing the mask before you walk in. Okay? All right, good. Confidence, use powerful body language. Yeah, somebody said that. That was good. That was a good tip. So use powerful body language. Yeah, just like speaking with confidence, body language can create confidence as well. There are a couple of misconceptions for the speaking section. Some people think that you should not use body language. That's not true. Okay, use your hands, express yourself, speak with your arms and your hands. It helps, especially when you have a mask on and the examiner cannot see your mouth. Then using your hands a bit when you're expressing yourself, like speaking with a high voice and a low voice, and using your hands to show that, it's a really good idea. Okay, body language is good. Okay, don't put your hand underneath the table, and definitely don't cross your arms like this. You're wearing a mask. You don't want to close yourself. You don't want to put pressure on your chest. Okay, so don't do that. All right. Okay, don't drink too much coffee or black tea. Okay. Because this creates anxiety. Okay. Some people think that it's helpful to slam a big cup of coffee before you walk into your speaking exam. No, it's much better to just get a good night's sleep and maybe a little bit of coffee or a little bit of tea, but don't drink half a liter of dark coffee or light coffee or whatever before you walk in. Okay. Eye contact, yeah. Yeah, so Mustafiz says it's a good idea to make eye contact during the speaking. Yeah, it is a good idea to make eye contact. Eye contact shows confidence, absolutely. But you don't have to stare at the examiner, okay? Some students think that you have to be like, for the whole 15 minutes without blinking, staring into the eyes of the examiner, trying to read their brain. No, you don't need to do that. So it's okay to look away or look up into your mind for vocabulary or for ideas. That's totally fine, okay? You don't need to stare at the examiner. But it is a good idea to make eye contact throughout the interview, okay? All right. Monisha, throw out your question. If I catch it and it's an important question, I'll definitely stop and answer it, okay? Bong Magbu, you do not need to repeat the question before answering it. You should just use the question. Okay. Omar, speaking slowly is a good idea. It doesn't necessarily add to your confidence, but it will definitely help you to speak clearer and more accurately. So you don't need to rush. That's another wrong idea that many students have. They think that you have to speak super fast to get those good scores, but no, you don't have to. Okay? All right. Just another quick tip. I'm sure one of you said this, I probably just missed it, is visualize that your examiner is your grandfather or grandmother. Speak with confidence in a loud, clear voice and complete sentences and ideas. Okay, a good way to think about it is think about how you would explain Instagram to your grandmother. Okay, she will listen because she loves you. She will try to understand you, but you must be clear and accurate with details and examples. Does everybody have that? So does everybody have that idea in their head? When you're speaking to the examiner, think about the examiner like your grandmother, and you're explaining how Instagram works, why people like it. Okay? If you can clearly do that for your grandma in 30 seconds, you have the right idea for the speaking section. Okay? Obviously, grandma has no idea about Instagram, doesn't really understand the concept of social media and how it all links together, why it's popular. So you have to be really step by step. Okay? All right? Everybody got that? Plus, of course, grandma loves you. She's not going to laugh at you or point at you if you don't make any sense. She's going to listen patiently. Okay? Yeah, you can drink water. So water is allowed in the IELTS. Best to have a bottle of water, obviously. Okay? But yeah, you should be able to drink water. Okay? All right. Okay, hi Carolina, hi, I'm Rita. Good to see more of our members in there. All right, so those are the ideas to keep in mind, to keep constantly practicing, okay? And of course, practice is key. Okay, everyone, let's get into this. So part one, you go into your interview, you've been wearing your mask for a good 30 minutes, you're feeling comfortable breathing in your mask, you're not having panic attacks, okay? And you get into your exam. Now, this is speaking, everyone, so practice speaking with me. Make sure to speak and repeat, okay? Speak, repeat. Very important, builds that confidence. Okay, so here we go. You walk into your interview. You're asked to be seated. If the examiner says, please take your seat, then say thank you. And then if the examiner asks you, how do you do? You know, say, I'm fine, thanks. How are you doing? Ask back. It's okay. That's polite. It's common. Okay. And then the examiner will say, okay, my name is Adrian. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. The test has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each. I will record this for marking purposes. First, I'll just ask you a couple questions to get to know you and some questions on a general topic. What is your full name? Okay, so be really confident, comfortable answering these. Sammy says, my full name is Siva Shankar and my surname is Pulivarthi. Please call me by my nickname, Sammy. Okay, good, Sammy. That works. Again, just make sure to practice that lots so it's nice, natural, and smooth. And you want to be able to do that in any English conversation. Mohammed says, my given name is Mohammed and my surname is Omran. Please call me Mo for short. Mohammed, that's very good. Okay, that works. Okay. Shaheen, you can start with whatever form you like. Just make sure it's accurate. Okay. Seni Surani says, my name is Seni Surani. You can call me by my first name, Seni. Very good. Lale says, you are a perfect examiner, person is comfortable. Yeah, but Lenny, that shouldn't matter. So don't let your performance be decided by the attitude of your examiner. So be ready for a happy, nice, easygoing examiner. Be ready for a grumpy, difficult examiner with a thick British accent. Okay, you have to be ready for anyone. Sanem Samra says, my problem is answering vocabulary very clear in my mind, but in front of a person I'm going to face for the first time, I make disaster. Yeah, so Sanem, try to practice with lots of different people. Use our website and find at least 5-6 different people to practice with so you get comfortable speaking with a variety of individuals that have different accents. Okay? All right. Byron says, my full name is Byron Blanco, and my family and friends call me Haron. Please call me the same. Haron. I'm not sure if it's Spanish, so it'll be Haron. So please call me the same. You'd have to finish that sentence, Byron. So you'd have to say, my family and friends call me Haron. Please do so as well. Okay. So finish the sentence. Okay. All right. So what is your full name? My given names are Juan Francisco, and my family name is Garcia. Please just call me Juan. Okay? All right. So I'm going with a Spanish name this time. Repeat after me. What is your full name? My given names are Juan Francisco, and my family name is Garcia. Please just call me Juan. Okay, Juan, may I see your identification? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Can I see your identification? They will definitely ask for your ID. They might not take it from you during the COVID. They might just look at it. You might have to hold it up. They might say, can you please hold your ID to me? And then Sammy says, yes, certainly. Here's my passport, which I used to register for the exam. Please have a look. Very good. PT says, yes, of course. Here it is. It's okay to not speak in 20-word sentences for every question. Just make sure that you show fluency, okay? So show fluency, all right? Amrita says, yeah, sure, this is my passport, which I used for registering for this IELTS exam. Please take a look. Amrita, for registration of IELTS exam is awkward English, okay? So little correction there. Z says, yes, sure, here it is. Yes, sure, here it is a bit simple. So I know a lot of you just want to kind of really answer and say, yes, sure, here it is. And that's okay, but that doesn't say much. So if somebody says to me, yes, sure, here it is, at that point, that student can be a band 4 or a band 9. I really don't know yet, because a band 4 candidate can say, yes, sure, here it is. A band 9 candidate can say, yes, sure, here it is. But if somebody says, yes, here's my ID that I used to register for the exam, please take a look at it, that definitely shows me that it's likely not a band 4. Okay, do you get it? So you're showing your level right away, all right? So, and it's more professional. Yes, certainly. Here is my ID that I used, or you can even use present perfect, that I've used to register for this test. Please have a look. Okay, so here we go. Repeat after me. Can I see your identification? Yes, certainly. Here's my ID that I have used to register for this test. Please have a look. Okay, that shows fluency right away. All right, so it's good to show fluency. All right. Chrysolite Jyoti says, yes, of course, here's my passport that I used for registration. Nice, okay, so that's good. Show fluency. Very common question for an icebreaker to kind of make you feel comfortable, confident. What do you do in your free time? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. What do you do in your free time? All right. Amrita says, I like to do a plethora of activities in my leisure time. However, during the pandemic, life has tremendously slowed down, and I spend a lot of my time on social media, especially Facebook. Okay, Amrita, not bad. Amrita, careful with your grammar. Okay, careful with your grammar. All right, Aftab Sandhu says, I like to watch web series on Netflix. Currently, I've been watching Vampire Diaries. I also love to spend time with my family, playing board games or having a nice meal together. All right, Aftab, if you're going to introduce another idea, especially after giving details like binge watching web series on Netflix, like Vampire Diaries, and then you gave a lot of really nice detail there. If you add another element, like spending time with your family, then give me just one more piece of information of what you like to do with your family. Okay? So That'll make it a lot better. So you don't want to just go into detail and then speak general. If you go into detail, which is really good, you want to keep going into detail. Okay. All right. Let's see. Lepay Yan says, in my spare time, I love reading magazines and browsing websites like YouTube and Yahoo. Oftentimes, I find myself lost in some super cool travel logs and videos. Like what? Give me an example of a travel log or video that you get lost in. Oftentimes is okay. I think us West Coast Canadians say oftentimes, but oftentimes, both are okay, right? Oh yeah, I see Lepay. There we go. Imagining I'm walking on a sandy beach in Costanilla or a glass sky bridge of Zangijaji. Okay, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen pictures of it. Anyway. All right, very nice. Let's see. I cannot read the Cyrillic, but I can read what you wrote. I show a great preference to spend my time reading books, which could be more viable option to boost my horizons, and they convey a myriad of tips that I love. That's a bit confusing. Be really careful, everyone, to use natural English. Even if you use words like viable, boost, horizon, convey, myriad, if they're put together in an awkward way, it's really confusing, and you're not actually getting marks for lexical resource. Okay, I want to write that down because a lot of people make this mistake. Okay, so tip: if you use advanced English vocabulary in awkward ways, you will not get marks for a lexical resource because you have to use vocabulary accurately in context. Okay, so I know that some students think that if they learn some advanced vocabulary and then just put that into their speaking answers, they're going to get a good mark, but it's not true. If you're not making sense, if you're not being natural, if you're being awkward, you will actually lose marks. And even on the lexical resource, you'll lose marks, okay? So be really, really careful about that, all right? Okay, what do you like to do in your free time? Use the question, okay? So in my spare time, I often binge watch a series on Netflix. I just completed the first season of Barbarians. Or I spend time playing with my daughter. We've been working on a massive Lego castle over the past few days. Okay? All right. So here we go. Repeat after me. What do you do in your free time? In my spare time, I often binge watch a series on Netflix. I just completed the first season of Barbarians, or I spend time playing with my daughter. We've been working on a massive Lego castle over the past few days. So answer, explanation, example. That's always what you're going for, is answer, explanation, example. Humans are visual. We love details. We love to see what the person is talking about. You can see me sitting in front of the TV watching one Netflix after the other of Barbarians. You can see me sitting in my living room on the floor with my daughter putting pieces of Lego one after the other to build this massive castle, okay? That will get you high band scores. the more visual, the more detailed, the more original, the more you will get. Binge watching, so it might even be one word. Binge watch means to do it for a long time without stopping. So when you binge, it means that you're kind of overindulging, okay? Overindulging, okay? Yeah, Francis, absolutely. Answer, explain, example. All right, and so you'll probably get maybe one or two more kind of questions like this. Who do you spend your free time with, etc. And then you'll get introduced some kind of a general topic. So here, the examiner says, let's talk about newspaper and magazine. Okay, let's talk about newspaper and magazine. How often do you read a newspaper, or how about a magazine? Okay, so give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. How often do you read a newspaper? How about a magazine? Now, you notice that I skipped a question there, and it's because I don't want you to just preload your answers. I want you to be spontaneous. Okay? Nick Hill says, I read newspapers online each day in the morning by scanning many websites such as Hindustan Times, Time of India. Moreover, I rarely read magazines on car designs that I can use in my I readily. Nick Hill, I think you're thinking of the word I readily, not rarely, readily. Readily means often, okay? Because it sounds to me like you read car magazines that you can use in your project. So careful not to make word choice mistakes, okay? All right. Grishma Varsha says, hey, Adrian, thanks for the lectures. I've scored band 7 in speaking. Grishma, fantastic. Grishma, did you do that with a mask on? Just out of curiosity, were you wearing a mask when you scored that band 7? Let me know. Okay, I'll try to catch it if you answer it. Sometimes the comments are going very quickly on my screen, but I'll try to catch it. Okay. Dekendra Prasad says, I would like to read newspapers, books, magazines to spend time in this pandemic, but I often used to visiting parks and new places in my free time. It's a little bit confusing, Dekendra. So I still don't know how often you're reading newspapers and magazines. Does that mean you rarely read them? Don't make me guess. Okay, tell me. If you say I rarely read newspapers and books because I'm going to parks and doing outdoor activities more often, then it makes sense. But you have to say rarely. Okay, so answer the question directly. Carolina says, you can achieve slow mode in YouTube for comments. I know that, Carolina, but then it really slows down and I don't see other people. So thanks for the tip. I know of it. It does work better for me to kind of move through them quickly than slowly. Otherwise, I get really, really backed up in the comments and I fall way behind on people commenting. Okay? So, but that's okay. Don't worry. I'll figure it all out, okay? Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I'm doing just fine. All right, Didi Lovato says, hey, Adrian, I just want to ask something. Will they give me paper and pencil in the pandemic for writing my listening notes? No, they give it to you. You can't bring anything, Didi Lovato, into the exam, so they will provide you with a writing utensil and paper, okay? All right. Lakshaya says, I read newspapers daily in the morning. The sports column interests me the most. I don't prefer reading magazines much. Lakshaya, why does the sports column interest you? Okay, let me know. So Lakshaya, it's good. You're definitely on the right track. It's a nice response. Just give me a little bit more detail, okay? For how often, students, think quantitative. So as soon as you hear this, how often, okay, as soon as you hear the word often, you want to think quantitative, okay? So often, think quantitative, okay? So meaning numbers, okay? So how often do you read a newspaper? How about magazines? So I rarely read newspapers because I get most of my news through apps. So I would say maybe once or twice a year when I'm at the dentist office and there's nothing better to do. However, I read magazines frequently because I like the articles in Psychology Today, and I've been collecting this magazine for many years. Okay, all right, so here we go. How often do you read a newspaper? How about a magazine? Again, speak and repeat. I rarely read newspapers because I get most of my news through apps, so I would say maybe once or twice a year when I'm at the dentist office and there's nothing better to do. However, I read magazines frequently because I like the articles in Psychology Today, and I've been collecting this magazine for many years. Okay. Somewhat true. What articles do you like reading? So give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. What articles do you like reading? Okay. Un says makeup and fashion related magazines are the ones that I enjoy, so I like reading articles about these topics. I always want to keep on top of the newest fashion items and clothes, so I can read these for an hour without getting bored. Okay, not bad. I made a few corrections there to make it a bit more natural, so pay attention to that. Okay. Aftab Sandhu says, I have a lot of interest in economics and I really like to read articles of famous economists. Recently, I read an article of Dr. Manmohan Singh, the ex-Prime Minister of India, and it is a knowledge buster. Okay, Aftab, careful with these expressions like knowledge buster. I'm not familiar with it. Some other English speakers maybe. Okay. Amrita says, I like to read current affairs because it keeps me aware of the pressing issues in society. I also like to read the entertainment section to calm myself and for enjoyment, as well as the astrology section for learning about the future or predicting the future. Jacob says, I'm just obsessed with reading articles about sports and politics, to be precise, which are related to international affairs. Articles are in English, so it's extremely useful to boost my vocabulary. Jacob, Sverdlov, boost my vocabulary, not your vocabulary, okay? So part one, everyone, in part one, questions are about you, so you're using the words my, me, I. Do not switch to you. In fact, I highly, highly recommend avoiding the word you throughout your speaking interview, okay? Using the word you is oftentimes incorrect, and it lowers communication quality, okay? So don't use the word you, don't use the word things. Those are the two big ones that I strongly recommend avoiding throughout your interview. Okay, so this is another tip. Okay, the two words that you should not use during your interview are you and thing. as both of these are, let's say both of these lead to poor communication. Okay, everybody clear on that? Can I get a couple thumbs up on that? I just really want to drive that point home, and I know many of you have heard me say this before, but for a lot of the other viewers and the new viewers, I really want to just emphasize that point. Don't use you, don't use things, okay? Both of those words lead to poor communication, okay? All right, I got a few thumbs up there. Akil, Abhishek, Lepe, a little bit of a shake boogie to the side as well. All right, fantastic, okay? Good, yeah, stay away from those words, all right? Good. Okay, Yahya says, to be honest, I'm crazy about football. Obviously, football is the main topic of my reading. Hence, I'm used to reading articles which are about sports, especially football. I've played it since a small child. I follow a couple of teams religiously, Manchester United. Okay, Yahya, go into details instead of repeating the word football over. Don't say to be honest. It's the IELTS exam. I don't care if you're honest or you're not honest. I just care if you have good English, okay? Students overuse the phrase to be honest. It's not a good phrase to use. So another quick one here while I'm at the do not do. Okay, the do not use and the do not do. Tip, do not use the phrase to be honest. Okay, if you're in a business meeting with me, I hope that you're honest, okay? So just a personal advice here, I'm always very worried when a person in a business meeting says to be honest. Okay, that makes me worried. It should make you worried if you're a businessman as well. In the IELTS, it doesn't matter if you are honest or not. You just need good English. Okay, students way overuse this to be honest, and it's bad. It's actually just bad communication. So if you're learning good communication skills in English, as just anybody, not necessarily for IELTS, a communications tutor will tell you don't say to be honest, okay? It makes you sound untruthful. It kind of has the opposite effect. Okay, good. We had some good answers there. I caught a couple more. Okay, so here I would say, well, as I just mentioned, I'm into psychology. I especially enjoy reading articles on developmental, educational, and child psychology, not only because I'm a teacher, but also because I'm a father. So the information I acquire helps me be better and help others more. All right. So here we go. Repeat after me. What articles do you like reading? Well, as I just mentioned, I'm into psychology. I especially enjoy reading articles on development, educational, and child psychology, not only because I'm a teacher, but also because I'm a father. So the information I acquire helps me be better and help others more. All right, let's skip the next one and go to this one. I'm curious to see your answers for this one. Pay attention to the grammar here. Have you ever, okay? So have you ever written an article for a magazine or a newspaper? Have you ever written an article for a magazine or a newspaper? So I'm skipping questions here. I want you to be original. Didi Lavoto, definitely do not use the word stuff. Stuff is like cheap version of things. So it's even worse than things. Don't use stuff. Okay. Nudia Ophia says, fortunately, yes. Okay. What was it? What did you write? When did you write it? Use the grammar. Yes, I have. Okay. If you're going to say yes, at least say yes, I have, so that you're showing the present perfect. Okay. Make sure to show the present perfect. Beatrice Calista says, I've never written an article for a magazine or newspaper, but I've had a chance, but if I had a chance, I would love to write one. What would you like to write? Okay, so if your answer is no, so it's Beatrice, that's a really good start. Okay, so if you haven't and you say, I've never written an article for a magazine or newspaper, but if I had the chance, I would love to. I'd love to write an article about how to take care of Doberman pinschers, because I have one. Okay, so explain a little bit more what you would like to write about if you had the chance. Okay, and then I can give you even more marks. Okay. Ferdov says, no, I haven't, as it's not my cup of tea. And it requires a lot of energy and effort. Now, keep your minds open, students. Think about school, high school, your high school newspaper or magazine, your local newspaper. Are you sure you haven't written anything in the past? So don't close yourself off until you've given it a bit of thought. You might start by saying, well, let me think about that for a second. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I have. Okay, so think about it. Chetna Engineer says, yes, recently I had written an article about a large data sample for a college magazine, which is specifically for students who are studying engineering. Okay, don't repeat college, Chetna, but you're on the right track. Yeah, university magazine contribution or university newspaper. Maybe you haven't written for a newspaper or magazine, but you've written for a blog. And then you can say, I haven't written for a newspaper or magazine, but I have written a couple of blogs that are popular. Okay. Abhay says, well, just a couple of days ago, I bought a magazine about civil engineering. It gave me lots of knowledge regarding different kinds of skyscrapers in the world, as well as their structures, like the Burj Khalifa. I think, Abhay, that's for the previous question, because it doesn't make sense for this one. Okay. Yarabisha says, yes, I have. I've written a public opinion regarding Muslim students' organization management in the Republica newspaper. I was shocked back then, since the newspaper was one of the most trusted media. Okay. Good, Yarabisha. I like it. All right. In my country. Okay. Very nice. Good explanation. Ava says, I've never written an article. In fact, I'm not much into writing, and it's really hard for me to brainstorm. All right, Ava, that's a fair enough answer, and you included some good vocabulary. I helped you a little bit there, so pay attention to that. Okay. Z says, no, I've never written any articles for magazines or newspapers, but if I get the chance, I'll make the most of it, that's for sure. I'd love to write an article about, give me the answer, okay? So you can say, no, I haven't written any articles for either magazines or newspapers, even if I think back to my school days or uni. However, if I had the chance, I would love to write an article for my local newspaper on the benefits of improving recycling in our community, as there is a lack of such services. Okay. So right away, show the present perfect. Have you ever? No, I haven't. Okay. The examiner is looking for that. They're looking for your ability to use the grammar. Have you ever written an article for a magazine or newspaper? No, I haven't written any articles for either magazines or newspapers. Either magazines or newspapers. Even if I think back to my school days or university. However, if I had the chance, I would love to write an article for my local newspaper on the benefits of improving recycling in our community, as there's a lack of such services. All right, students, try this last one on your own. If you would subscribe to a monthly magazine, what would it be and why? I'll let you try that one on your own. Have fun with that. Students, I just released a brand new video on our channel. It's an HD video. It's POV style, so it's point of view style, where basically I'm doing an interview with you with karaoke style subtitles. It's really good for practice. It's a new kind of project that we're testing. We want to see how our fans like it. So definitely write some comments, give us some feedback. Let us know if you want to see more videos like this. It's also followed by a sample Band 9 speaking interview. So lots of help there for you to really work on your English. Check that out, okay? I just put that up on the channel. Make sure you watch that. We'll have more and more videos coming up throughout the next couple of weeks. And for all of our materials, all of our exams, videos, interactive tests, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. That's where you will find the best help to improve your scores quickly. You're very welcome, everyone. Next live class is tomorrow, members, an hour and a half before. For everybody else, at the same time, of course, you can join both classes and watch both classes. You're very welcome, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day. If it's late in your country, sweet dreams to you. Stay strong, stay healthy, eat your vitamins, get exercise. Much love to all of you. I'm Adrian, signing out from Budapest for now. See you tomorrow.